Hello guys, in this video we are going to learn about the concept of local finiteness which is written on your screen. Actually in the previous theorem on the metrization property of a topological space, we studied a metrization theorem by Urysohn, in which the conditions we assumed, or the hypothesis we assumed, was the regularity and the countable basis. That is, a topological space should be regular as well as it should have countable basis. Then the Urysohn metrization theorem guarantees that this space will be metrizable. But already I told you in the previous lecture that it was not the necessary condition for a topological space to be metrizable. Indeed, although regularity is the necessary condition, because all the metric spaces they are all regular, but the second condition which we assumed, which was countable basis, that the topological space should have countable basis, it was not necessary. Yes, it was not necessary, it was just sufficient. So in this video lecture we are going to learn about the concept of local finiteness. What does it mean for a basis to be locally finite, or what does it mean for in general for a collection to be local finite? This was the condition, exact condition, which was given by Nagata and the Smirnov in order to determine exactly when a topological space is metrizable. That is, it is the necessary and the sufficient condition for a regular space to be metrizable. It almost took, I think, 50 years in order to determine this condition, although it is believed that if the Urysohn lived for some more time, he died young in the 1926, he would have determined this condition earlier. So let me remind you first what is a basis for a topological space. Then we will study this concept of local finiteness for a collection, and we will do some results and some examples on it, and finally we will do a lemma on it, that every metrizable space has a nice property about this local finite, and we will also study about the refinements. What does it mean for a collection to be the refinement of another collection? So let me first remind you what is a basis for a topology. Although you have studied it, let me briefly remind you. So if we have a topological space x tau, we say that this B is a basis for this topology, for this space. If simply what we have, if every given any point of our space x, we have a member from this basis. It is simply a collection from the power set of x. It is simply a collection satisfying these two conditions, that given any point x in the space x, we have a member of from this. And another condition is that let me first drop it. Another condition is that if we have this space x, if some point is in the intersection of two such members, this is our point x, then there should exist another member from our collection which is contained in the intersection of these two basis members. These are the two conditions for a collection to be basis for some space x. So let us come to our topic, that what is the concept of local finiteness. In the Urysohn metrization theorem, we assumed that our space x tau should be regular and it should have countable bases. Regular and it should have b bases which is countable. Countable simply implies that we can count its elements. That is, b can be written as b1, b2, b3 dash dash dash. This simply its elements have a correspondence with the set of natural numbers, which means that it is countable. Let me give an example of a countable basis. Let us take R. If we have our real line R, and with it is standard topology, tau standard on it, then this collection, if we take this collection where this is rational, this point is rational and this is also rational, then this collection will be a basis for this R and it is clearly countable. As we have this collection, that is B is the collection of AB, set of all AB, intervals AB such that A comma B are in Q. Therefore, since this is a correspondence, this has a correspondence with the Q cross Q, and we know that it is similar to Q and which is similar to N. Therefore, this is simply countable, and at every point we can choose this kind of set from this basis, and if some point is contained in two sets like this, then there is third set, this intersection, which is clearly is contained in the intersection of these two, which is an example of a countable basis. So we assumed for a regular space that B should be countable. Another notation for this basis is or the way of expressing this condition is, we can simply express B as union of collections of Bn where n is in natural numbers. This is finite if each of Bn is finite, that is, it contains finitely many elements, then this will be countable as well. Let me show you how our countable basis B was countable. That is, we can write it as elements like B1, B2, B3 dash dash dash. Let me choose B1 a collection in which I will choose B1, B2, B3. Let us suppose. Then let me choose B2 another collection, suppose B2, B4, B5, etc. And in this way, if we choose, they may not be disjoint. In this way, if we choose B3 and B4 and all B4, B5, all that, then B can simply be written as, it is clear from this pattern that B can be simply written as B1 union B2 union B3 union dash 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 dash. Since this is finite, this is finite, and if we take their countable union, then this will be countable. So another condition of expressing or another way of expressing that our B is countable, we simply write this as, so our condition is that our basis is countable is simply, we can write B as countable union of Bn's where n is our natural set n and each of this is finite. So this is another way of expressing that this is countable. Now let us come to our topic, that is local finiteness, and we will study some properties of local finiteness and some examples about it, and what is a refinement of a collection. So the condition which finally Nagata and Smirnov expressed was that the condition which is necessary for this basis for this space which is regular to be metrizable, that its basis should be expressible as union of all these Bn's, countable union of all these Bn's, where n is in our natural, and this is locally finite. Each of Bn is locally finite. This was the final condition in order to determine the metrizability of a space, which is a necessary condition. So it will give us a necessary and sufficient condition for a topological space to be metrizable. It was finally given by Smirnov and Nagata independently. So let us now discuss what do we mean by a collection to be locally finite. Locally finite. So if we have a topological space X, we say a collection A is locally finite. If every point of this space X has a neighborhood, if every point of X has a neighborhood that will intersects only finitely many elements of A. Now, which is the definition of a local finiteness. So let me show you what does it mean. Let us suppose if we take a collection from X to be simply, let us suppose B1, B2, these three sets. Let me show it geometrically. This is our topological space X, and let me take this collection. Let me take this set and this set and this set and this set. Let me take these four sets. Now if we choose any point here and a neighborhood around it, if we choose point here X and a neighborhood U around, this U doesn't intersect with this finite collection at all. Therefore it has a finite intersection with this, that is it intersects finitely many elements from this collection, that is it intersects none of them, which is finite as well because 0 is finite. And if we choose any element here X, then clearly there will exist some neighborhood, this which will intersect with this set A, which is finite, as 1 is also finite. And since we have this finite collection, there are only 4 elements in this collection. At most we can, if we have some Y here, at most any neighborhood of Y will intersect at most with 4 of the elements, because there are only 4 elements in this collection. Therefore this is locally finite. This collection which we choose, this was, let us suppose B1, B2, B3 and B4. Our collection was B1, B2, B3 and B4. Clearly around any point X in X, we can choose a neighborhood U which will at most intersect with the 4 elements of this, because it has only 4 elements. Therefore this is locally finite. This collection is locally finite. From this we get a simple result that any finite collection is locally finite. Any finite collection is locally finite, which is trivial. This is a trivial fact. Now let us choose another example on R, which is locally finite. Let me choose this set of where our n belongs to integers. So let me show you how this collection behaves. This is simply, if we choose 0, n equals 0, then we will get 0, 2. If we choose n equal to 1, then we will get 1 and 3. If we choose n equal to 2, then we will get 2, 4. If we choose 3, then we will get simply 3, 5 and dash so on. And from the left, if we choose -1, then we will get -1, 1. We'll have -1, 1. Sorry, this is -1, 1. Then we will get -2, 0. Sorry, and so on. Now we have to show that this collection is locally finite. From the figure, it is clearly, if we choose any element in the R, we have our R, if we choose any x in the R, then there exists, let us suppose we have our x here. Let us suppose we have x over here. Then there always exist integers such that we can contain this integer, this point in n into n plus 1 element. This is a neighborhood of x, n into n comma n plus 1, where n is in our integer. Suppose we choose here, suppose this is our x, then we can simply choose its neighborhood to be 3, 4. Now our neighborhood 3, 4, with how many elements does it intersect with the collection A? It simply intersects with it intersects with 3, 5, as we have 3, 5 in our collection, and it also intersects with 2, 4. It also intersects it intersects with the 2, 4 and 3, 5, and it does not intersect with any at all. Therefore this neighborhood has a finite intersection with this collection A, that is, it intersects with only 2 elements of this intersection. And similarly you can show at any point, if you choose any point from the space R, it will have a neighborhood which will intersect finitely many elements of A. Therefore this collection is also locally finite. This A is also locally finite. Now let us give an example of a collection which is not locally finite. Let us choose another collection B to be this 0, 1 by n, where n is in our natural numbers. So how does this collection look like? This is our 0, and let me choose 1 here. Sorry, let me choose 1 here, and this is the first element of this collection. Then we have here 0, half, then we have 0, 1/3, then we have 1/4, and so on. Now this collection, we claim that it is not locally finite. Now if you choose any element on the left side of the 0, let us suppose we choose some element here, it has clearly this neighborhood which does not intersect with this collection at all. And if we choose any element here, it has clearly this neighborhood, half this point, sorry, let me write it here, this point has clearly the neighborhood half comma 1, which intersects clearly with only this neighborhood. That is, it also has a neighborhood which intersects with the finitely elements of this collection. But the condition for our local finiteness was that it should be true for every element of the space. Now if we choose 0 our element, our element, and any neighborhood around 0, now here from the Archimedean property of the reals, Here we will have infinitely many pointers, elements of this B. It is clear from the figure. As you can see that if we choose any neighborhood around 0, it will intersect with the infinitely many elements of B. Therefore this collection is not locally finite. It is clear. Let me write it again here, that if we choose any neighborhood around, this is half, this is 1/3, this is 1/4, if we choose no matter how small we choose, here we will have infinitely many elements of this collection, infinitely many elements of this collection of B. Therefore we cannot find a neighborhood around 0 which will have a finite intersection with the elements of B. Hence, due to this point 0, this collection is not locally finite. This is not locally finite. Let me show you another example of not locally finite collection. Let us choose our C to be this collection minus n such that n belongs to n. Let us choose this one, that is, it is the collection. If we choose n is equal to 1, then we will get minus 1 1. If we choose n equals 2, we will get minus 2 2, then 3 minus 3 minus 4 4, and so on. Now it is clear from the figure, if you choose any element, if you choose suppose 0 here, we have to discard that this is not locally finite, then we can simply choose an element, this is 0. Now if you choose any neighborhood around 0, let me suppose I choose this one, then this element, let us suppose we choose 0 belongs to minus half half. You can choose any neighborhood. Let me choose this one, minus half half. Then clearly this has an intersection with minus 1 1, it has an intersection with minus 2 2, this one, it has an intersection with minus 3 and 3, it has intersection with also minus 4 and 4, and so on. Therefore this neighborhood has intersection with the infinitely many members. Similarly, if you choose any neighborhood around 0, no matter how small, no matter how big you choose, it will have infinitely many intersection with this collection. Therefore this collection is also not locally finite. This is not locally finite. So I think from these 3 examples you got an idea about what is locally finiteness of some collection. And from the definition it is also clear that if we have a collection A, set of all elements A in X, such that A belongs to, A is a subset of power set of X. This is our collection A. Then if it is, this collection is locally finite, it is clear from this figure, from the definition, that it is any sub collection. Any sub collection of A will also be locally finite. Any sub collection will also be locally finite. And also another property of these collections is that if we have a collection A such that it consists of the subsets from the power set of A, power sets of X, then the closures of A is also locally finite. That is, the collection B, which is the set of closures, is contained in P of X. This is also locally finite. It is trivial, you can check this. And also another property is that the union of all these elements in our collection A, which is locally finite, their closure is simply union of the closures. You can also check this property. Now let us come to the another property, which is countable local finiteness. Countable local finiteness. We say that B a collection of subsets of X, a collection of, this is a collection of subsets of, sorry, B is a collection of subsets of X, collection of subsets of X. We say that it is countably locally finite. Countably locally finite. Locally finite. If B can be written as the countable union of collections, each of it is which is locally finite. That is, B can be written as countable union. That is, we are doing this union countably many times. That is, we are doing this union countable number of times. B is the collection of is the union of collections Bn, where union is running over n, that is, this is countable union, but this each collection, this is locally finite. Then we say that this collection is countably locally finite. That is, it can be written as a union of all these collections, each of which is locally finite. This is a simple definition of local finiteness, countable locally finiteness. Then another definition is of refinement. What is an open refinement, what is an closed refinement, and what is a refinement? So let me show you what is a refinement of collections of a subsets of some space X. We say, let me show it geometrically first. What does it mean for a collection to be refinement of another collection? Suppose we have this topological space, or as simply space X, and we have some collection. Let us suppose we have this element, we have this element, and we have this element. Let us choose these three elements, and we call this collection to be, let us suppose, B. We say that another collection A is a refinement of this B if for each element in the A there is some B in this collection B which contains that element. That is, for each element, let us suppose choose these elements to be the elements of A. That is, we choose where outer elements are the elements from this collection B, outer elements are collection from B, where inner elements, these are from A. Since for each element we have for each element in A, our collection A, we have a subset in B such that which contains the element of A. Therefore, we say this is the refinement. This A is the refinement of this B. Now, if we choose another element in A, let us suppose this element we choose in this collection A, then clearly A is not the refinement of B, as we have no set of B which contains this element. We have no set of B which contains this element of A, and hence this is not, hence A is not refinement. A is not refinement. And if it happens that if the elements of the B are open sets, that is, if these elements are open sets, if the elements of A are open as well, that is, these elements, if these are open as well, these are open sets, then we say that A is the open refinement of B. A is let me show it here. We have this X and we have a collection B and we have another collection A. A collection B is this and collection A has these small elements. If these elements happen to be open sets as well, we say this A is the open refinement of B, or if they happen to be closed sets, then we say that this is the closed refinement of B. This is the concept of refinement which we will need in the further theorems on the metrization theorems, and we will also prove a result on this countable local finiteness. Let me state it here, and in the next video lecture we will prove this fact, this simple fact, that is, let me rub it, that is, if we have a metric space or X, we have a metrizable space, metric space or metrizable space, and if A is any open covering of X, A is open covering of X. Open covering simply means that by the union of these all the elements in here we can generate X. That is, X is the union of all is contained in the union of all the elements in the A. This is simply, and also these are open sets. This is open covering of X and X is metrizable space. Then there will exist another open covering. Suppose B, there exists another open covering, B open covering, that will refine A, and also this B is countably locally finite. B is countably locally finite. Hence, for every metrizable space, we have this fact that given any open covering, there will exist another open covering that will refine A also, which is locally finite. Hence, this condition, this is the necessary condition for a space to be metrizable, because if every metrizable space satisfies this fact, and if we have a topological space that is metrizable, it should also satisfy this fact. And also, I already told you that every metric space is regular. That was the necessary condition in the Urey-Schoene's metrization theorem, and another condition was not necessary. That was the countable basis, and this fact we will prove in our next lecture. It is a simple fact and it has a beautiful geometric description. Therefore, for the Urey-Schoene's metrization theorem, let me give the spectrum of the conditions at last. That is, if we have a space X, then this is since the regularity is the necessary condition, I won't talk about that. So if we have here it is the condition of first countability. I am assuming that you know what is first countability, and you also know that every metric space is first countable, and therefore if this space is metrizable, then it should be first countable as well. And here we have second countable, that is, it has a countable basis. Second countable, this was the sufficient condition for a regular space to be metrizable, as shown in the Urey-Schoene's metrization theorem. Therefore, this countable local finiteness lies somewhere here. This condition lies somewhere here. This is countable local finiteness. This condition lies somewhere here. Since every metric space must satisfy this first countability, but every metric space need not satisfy this second countability, but every metric space should satisfy this countable local finiteness, which gives us exactly the right condition for a regular space to be metrizable. Therefore, this is the spectrum of the conditions. This was all for the local finiteness and our preparation to prove the Nagata-Smirnov metrization theorem. And before that, we will do this result that I stated earlier. Thank you. If you find this video helpful, kindly share it to your relevant friends and subscribe my channel. And if you have any comments, let me know in the comment section where you are having problems. So let me know. Thank you.